Hey guys, Mr. Milton here. Today we're going to look at writing equations notes. At the end of this video, you should be able to write an equation in slope-intercept form from a graph and a word problem. Okay, so recall that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m stands for the slope and b stands for the y-intercept. Okay, the variables in this equation are x and y. These values change within the same problem. The other letters, m and b, are not variables, but rather information that needs to be filled in, or data that needs to be filled in for each problem. These values don't change within one problem, they're constant, right? So therefore, in each problem, we need to find the values of m and b and plug them into our equation. Okay, so here it says, or yesterday we were able to do this. We had y equals 1/3 x minus 4. Remember, we start with the y-intercept and finish with the slope. So we need to identify the y-intercept and the slope. As we look at here, our y-intercept and our slope, our y-intercept was -4, and our slope was 1/3. Plot the y-intercept and use the slope to find the other point. Our y-intercept is -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we always start on this line, and our slope being 1/3 means to go up 1, run 3. Rise 1, run 3. And remember that we could also go negative and negative. Down 1, run 3. Down 1, -3. Okay? And so our line connects these points. Oops, I tried. Okay, so our line connects all these points, and then that's our graph. I'll try to do this one more time. Too flat, almost there. No, didn't reach it. Nope, too high. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, okay, anyway. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to write the equation from the graph. Okay, and so if we can graph it, then we can write the equation from a graph because we know what we're looking for. Okay, so as we look at this graph, what we're going to do, we're going to identify the information that we want. Start with the y-intercept and finish with the slope. Or sorry, we're starting with the graph here and finishing with the equation. And now I was wondering what I felt redundant here. And up here, and up here, we started, not with the y-intercept and slope because we already talked about that, but up here we started with the equation and finished with the line or graph. And now down here, we're starting with the graph and finishing with the equation. So we still want to do the same thing though. We want to identify the slope and the y-intercept from the graph. Insert those values in the correct spots in the equation or formula. And write the equation. So here we have it. We know it's going to be y equals something. Okay, and so we need to find the m and the b. So I'm going to find the b first. That's where we start on the y-intercept. Remember, the b is always going to be up and down this vertical line. So this point is at 0, 2. Our y-intercept is 2. Our slope is down 1, 2, 3 over 2. -3 over 2. And so our slope, -3/2. Okay, and so our equation then, y equals mx plus b, right? Our m is -3/2 x plus b 2 plus 2. Okay, and there we have it. That's our process. Do that a few more times here on the second page. So we're going from graph to equation. So here, I'm going to identify my y-intercept. It's on this line somewhere. Boom, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's negative, it's going down, so my b is -6. I need to find another point that's clearly marked. And I see that here. And so on this point that's clearly marked, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. And so my slope is 2 over 1 or 2. And so then I can write my equation as y equals 2x minus 6. Okay. Next problem as we look, all right, y-intercept is at 0 here. Okay, when it goes to the origin, that y-intercept is at 0. And our slope, we need to find another point that it hits nice, and that's right there. And so it goes down 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -1 over 6. And so our slope, -1 over 6. And so then we can write our equation as y equals our m, which is -1/6 x plus b. And in this case, it's plus 0. Now, I don't really want to write plus 0 into my equation, so I'm just going to be done here. Okay, number 3, as we look at our y-intercept, it goes up 1, 2. Okay, so my y-intercept is 2. And my slope, find another place where it hits nice. That happens here. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. Keep that in my mind. And over positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And over 5. And so here's my slope. Rise, -3. Run, positive 5. My equation then is going to be y equals -3/5 x plus 2. And then this is a vertical line. We talked about this yesterday, special vertexal line, okay? So our equation is going to be x equals, and as we look at a couple points here, you can see what x is going to be. We went over 1, 2, 3, 3, 0. Here, this is 0.32, but you'll notice that the x's are both 3s. X equals 3. It's one of those things that you just have to make sure you recognize there. Okay. Final question. It says, Terrence makes $8.75 per hour at his job. Assume he already has $110 saved. Write an equation in slope-intercept form to represent the situation. Okay, what is the slope? What does this mean? Remember that slope is change. Okay, how is this changing? His change is $8.75. Because every hour, he makes $8.75 more. Okay, and so I've said that out loud. What does it mean? Each hour, his money that he has increases by $8.75. What's his y-intercept? Well, in this case, it's 110, because that means how much money he started with. Remember, our y-intercept is where we start. He started with $110. Okay, so that's what does it mean? Okay, so make sure you're listening to these and understanding that, because that's going to be important. You're going to be asked to identify these. So our equation then, y equals 8.75x plus 110. Okay, how much would Terrence have if he worked for 25 hours? Well, with this equation, we can say 8.75. Our x would stand for how many hours he works, right? Because it's like $8.25 per hour plus 110. So 8.75 times 25 gives us $218.75 plus $110 he's already saved, $328.75. Okay, and we can just write that here. Okay. And then it says, let's say Terrence now has $600. How many hours did Terrence work? Well, in this equation, our y now is what we know, and that's 600. We don't know the other part, 8.75x plus 110. And so now we have an equation just to solve. So that's what, 490, subtracting 110 from both sides, equals 8.75x. Okay, and so now to solve this finally, we do 490 divided by 8.75, and that's 56. Means Terrence had to work 56 hours. Okay. All right. Well, that is writing an equation, slope-intercept form. See ya.